So, solution to exercise 12. You work for the University of Tawara and going to create a database to analyze data about student courses and accommodation. Dates are to be stored in this format. You must use the most efficient way or method to solve each task. The point number one is about creating the evidence document, which is going to be your Word document. So we open up a blank document and we are going to save it in the same folder, which is our working folder. So it says evidence 14CA1. Point number two, examine the data in these files, create a new database and import these files. Some field names, key fields, and data types are shown below. Where they are not given, choose your own using the same naming conventions as shown. Naming convention actually means the way they have specified a field name, all the field names have to be consistent. Consistent in terms that student ID, they have not used a space, they have used an underscore to have space between two words. So every field name needs to follow this format. This is what we call naming conventions. So first of all, we are going to create our database. Browse, and we are going to save it in the same folder. This is going to be the solution to Axis EX12 14CA1. Create and close the blank table. The very first file which we are to import is of students. So we go to database, external data, from file, text file. Locate your file, which is students, click on OK. Let's have a look at the field names. We need the student ID, student type, family name. There is a field which field name is not given. Then we have ACOM or accommodation, telephone, birth date, course code, tutor code. And you can see that the data types are not specified. So you are to specify the data types on your own by looking at the data. So first, it is detected as delimited. We click on next. The first row is containing the field names. Click on next. Student ID seems to be short text. Student type is fine. This is named as A, which is actually first name. Or actually first name and last name, that's a pair. Forename and surname, that's a pair. Family name. And then with the family name, it should be given name. All right. First name, last name, forename, surname, given name, family name. So I would specify this to be the given name. Keep these pairs in mind whenever you have to specify the names, forename and surname, first name, last name, given name, family name. All right, so this is short text. Family name is also short text. ACOM is also short text. Telephone is detected as long integer, but I've told you that whenever you are to import telephone, it has to be short text. Birth date is date with time. Course code is short text. It's fine. Then we have tutor code, which is short text. That is okay. So we click on next. Primary key, we can specify the student ID being the primary key. Click on next, and this is my students table. Double click, make sure that the data is imported correctly in the right format. Best fit your data and then close the table. Save changes. This is file number one. File number 2, courses. We need faculty code award full-time course title. So new data from file text file, and then we need courses. Detected as delimited, we click on next. The first row is containing the field names. Then we have faculty, appears to be short text, code, appears to be short text, award, appears to be short text. This full time -1 or 0, so that means this needs to be Boolean, which is yes or no. Course title, which is short text, we click on next. Primary key, faculty, I can see duplicates. Let's go with code, and then click on next. This is my courses table. Imported, double click on it, make sure everything is in the right format, best fit your data. You can see that the full time is appearing in checkboxes. We can go and change it from the design view. Full time select, field properties, change the format to yes, no. Come to the lookup tab, change the checkbox or the display control to text box. Go back to your data sheet, save your changes, and you can see the full time is appearing in yes or no. Close. Second file imported. Third file, qualifications. The name of the table needs to be qualifications. So we go to external data, new data from file text file again, browse, we select qualifications. Click on OK. Detected as delimited. First row contains the field names. Click on next. This is code short text. This also is short text. Click on next. Choose my own primary key, which is going to be code. Click on next, and this is qualifications. Now click on it, make sure everything is in its place, best fit your data, and then close the table, save the changes. Last file, which is halls. We go to new data from file text file, click on browse, double click on the halls, click on OK. It will also be detected as delimited. Click on next. First row is containing the field names. We have the accommodation, short text, residence, short text, address 1, which is this. This needs to be address underscore 2. This needs to be address underscore 3. Then we have zip code. And all of this needs to be in short text. All the fields are in short text. You can see that I specified the zip code as short text as well. Click on next. Primary key needs to be accommodation over here. We click on next. This is halls table. Once imported, double click on it. Make sure that the database is correct format. Double click to best fit. Close the table and save your changes. All the 4 tables are being imported. Include in your evidence document screenshots that show the structure of the 4 tables, showing all the field names, data types, and key fields. Now, one by one, you have to take a screenshot of all tables and place them in your evidence document. Open up the table, go to home, click on the design view, and then print screen. Take a screenshot of your first table. Open up your evidence document, paste it here. Let me have some multiple pages in my evidence document. I'm just pressing enter to add pages. Come back. This is my first table. Second table is halls. Open it up, go to your design view, take a print screen, paste it in your evidence document like this. Resize this. This is my second table. Third table is qualifications, design view, click anywhere else, print screen. Take the screenshot, come back to your evidence document, Paste your screenshot. This is my third table. And then last of all, we have the students table. All the four tables are placed, data structure shown, field names visible, data types visible, name of the table visible. We're done with this part. Now establish appropriate relationships to link the four tables to create the relational database. Include in your evidence document screenshots that show the relationship between these tables. Make sure that there is evidence of each relationship type. There are four tables. How many relationships? Three. So in order to make the relationships, since they have not guided us in this paper that which field is to be connected with which field, what you need to do is you have to take a look at your data. So open up the courses, open up halls, open up qualification, students. All the tables are open in front of us. We go to database tools, we click on relationships, and in the relationships, we're going to add all our four tables. Resize so that all fields are visible. All right. Now, course code over here may be linked with courses code over here. Let's confirm. Courses code seems to be in this format. Student file also has course code, seems to be linked or seems to be in the same format. Is it? Let's sort this into A to Z, and in the students, let's sort the course code into A to Z. You can see AG, AG1. Over here, you have AG, AG1. So similar data is present in both the columns. So we come back to the relationships. The courses code can be linked with course code in the students table. We have to take a screenshot of this. Print screen. That's our first relationship. Just click on create. The relationship is created. Now paste the evidence in your evidence document. First relationship made. Let's look at the second one. Now this is accommodation, which is a primary key. Accommodation may be linked with the accommodation in the students. Let's confirm the data, whether it's similar or not. So we open up halls, we look at the accommodation, and then we come back to the students file. We look at the accommodation. You can sort this into ascending order, sort this into ascending order as well. Look at the first entry, which is BH. In the students file, it is also BH. So similar data. That means when we come back to our relationship, accommodation can be linked with the accommodation over here in the students table. Again, take a print screen of the relationship. Click on create to create the relationship. Now go to your evidence document to paste the screenshot of your relationship type. Now three tables are linked. Now the fourth needs to be linked with one of the fields in the other tables. Now this has code in it, and we have code in the courses table. However, this code is also linked with the course code over here. We just need to verify whether this data is actually present in one of the tables. First, let's look at the qualifications. This has the code BA, BEd, B Engineering, BSc, so on and so forth. We click on the courses. Over here, the code does not have the same data. Probably this field, if you look at it, award, seems to be having the same kind of data. So qualifications code is actually going to be linked with award field in the code, or let's say the courses table. Come back to the relationships. This code needs to be linked with this award field. Again, take a print screen of the relationship. Click on create to create the relationship, and then head over to your evidence document to paste the screenshot. And this is my third relationship. Next, all the relationships made, so we are going to close the relationships, save the relationships. Also, we are going to close all our tables, and we save the changes if there are any. The only thing that we did to the tables is that we sorted the data based on certain fields in ascending or descending order, whatever. Point number 5, the student type, which is a field in the students table, contains codes to show where the student is from and how the university course is to be funded. The possible categories are that these are the student types: O, IG, IP, H. Their courses are basically funded, and this is what the meaning is. We're not concerned about the meaning. Let's look at the requirement. Only these values are allowed within this field. Make sure that the database checks this data as it is entered, not allowing invalid entries, and informs the user if this has occurred. So the student type field in the students table needs to be having only these codes. How can we make the restriction? We are to apply validation. We open up the students table. We go to our design view, and we have the student type. The student type needs to be, they have given the codes O, IG, IP, and H. So we click student type, come to the validation rule. Validation rule needs to be O or IG or IP or H. And then we add the validation text. You may only enter student type as O or IG or IP or H. That becomes our validation text. Usually they ask us to have a screenshot of this, so this can be given in the evidence document. I've taken the print screen. Let's see whether they ask for it or not. This is done. Question number 6. University will not accept students born after the 31st of August 1993. Make sure that a database checks this data as it is entered, not allowing invalid entries, informs the user if this has occurred. Again, we are to look at the students table, in which we have the birth date. It will not accept any student born after what? 31st of August 1993. Question 5, you want to apply input masking? You can apply it. You can apply it. That'll be a question mark and an L. Because some student types, they only have O in it or H in it. And some of them are IP or IG. So 2 characters required. It can be 1, it can be 2. 2 question marks, 1 needs to be entered. At least 1 is going to be there. Yeah. Question mark L. That is my take. Otherwise, you can just leave it. It is not about they should be restricted to type only this. We are to check whether they have typed this or not. So I've applied validation only. No need for input masking over here. Acha. Now birth date. The only data which is to be allowed is something which is not after 31st of August 1993. So we come back to our design view, click on the birth date, come back to the validation rule, acceptable range less than or equals to 31st of August of 1993. And we can write the message as we do not take students born after 31st August 1993. Take a screenshot of your validation and this may be placed in your evidence document. Done? Doesn't really matter. What?
Double zero, double slash, double zero, double slash, double zero.
You can apply it if you want, although it's not required in this case either. But you can do it. It is only for further validating your data whether it's in the correct format or not. Date has to be entered. So yes, you can specify 00. Not allowing invalid entries. Inform the user if this has occurred. Input masking does not inform you whether you are entering it wrong or not. It only restricts you when you are typing. So validation, high priority, input masking is low priority. Include in your evidence document screenshot that clearly show that you have restricted the data entry in steps 5 and 6, text display to the user. We have already placed the screenshots in the evidence document. Point number 8, save and print your evidence document. At this point, you are to save your document. So I'll just press Ctrl+S. Create a new document called center number, candidate number, and testing. So probably they are going to lead us to a validation table, which I'm going to make in the same evidence document that I'm making right now. Set the page size to A4, all the margins to be 3 centimeter. The margins of your document can be set from the layout. And over here, we have margins. We can go to custom margins and we can specify all over 3 centimeters. So we can specify 3 centimeter for all and we click on OK. What else? Place an automated file name with a full path on the left in the header. Make sure that the header aligns to the left margin of the page. Automated file name with a full path. Path means where this file is actually saved, right? So we are to specify this where in the header. So we go to insert, we drop down header. We always choose the blank 3 columns. Why? It gives us the alignments. Sometimes the examiner says that this needs to be aligned onto the left, this needs to be aligned onto the right or in the center. So this gives us the alignments. So we choose blank 3 columns. Specify this. Where are we supposed to add the file path? File name and file path on the left in the header. Okay. So we select the left. And now we have to add the file path and name. In the header and footer section, we have an option called quick parts. Drop it down, we click on field. In the pop-up box, under the field names, we are to specify or we look for the file name. Once the file name is located, we can check the format. It can be set to none and we can add the path to the file name. So we check this option, we click on OK. So you can see that the file, wherever it is saved, you can see the path and also the file name, which is this. Okay. What else? Place your name, center number, candidate on the right in the footer. So header section is done. What we need to do is always remove the extra text which says type here. This is not required. Close the head and footer. And now we are to set the footer. So we go to insert, drop down footer. Again, we select blank 3 columns. What do we need to add? We are to add your name, center number, candidate number on the right in the footer. Make sure that the footer aligns to the right margin of the page. When you start off with the footer, it always aligns it with the margins. So write down your credentials. We need our name, the center number, and the candidate number. Again, the extra text of type here and type here in the center needs to be removed. Once you are satisfied, once you've added the details, just close the header and footer. So this is how our document or the evidence document looks like. Next. Point number 13 says enter the text validation testing as a heading in a bold 36 points center lined serif font. So I'm going to make this on the new page. It says validation testing. Needs to be bold. Needs to be 36 points. We change the font size 36 points. Center lined in a serif font. We click on center. Serif font means Times New Roman. So we select the font, type in Times New Roman. This is how it should be. Below the heading, create the following test table. Okay, so we press enter. We are to create the table. In the table, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. How many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 rows. All right, so we go to insert. Insert, we drop down table, we click on insert table. Pop-up comes up. Number of columns, we need 4. Number of rows, we need 8. Click on OK. So how the table is made. Now what? We have to fill this table out and make it look exactly like this. So we have field name, let me close this. So we have these 3 cells merged. Select them, right click and select merge cells. This is students dot student type. Then we have test type. Then we have data chosen. Then we have type of data. Then we have expected outcome. Then we have actual outcome. These cells are also merged, so we select them, right click and select merge cells. Okay. Over here they have added IG over here. Okay, I'm going to select my table, head over to my home. This needs to be 12 points and it does not have to be bold. This was aligned onto the left hand side. The text does not seem to be in the serif font. It seems to be in the sans serif font. So the font that I'm going to select for sans serif is going to be Microsoft Sans Serif. and we can specify these be bold, only the headings. Resize certain cells so that it appears exactly how it is in our question paper. All these seems to be left aligned, and this seems to be in italic, slanting. This also seems to be bold, so make it bold. All right. We have created the test table. This carried 5 marks. Now 15 says complete this test table for the validation rule you set in the student type field. If the actual outcome of the test is an error message, take a screenshot of the message and place it in the correct cell of the table. So student type, we have applied O, IG, IP, and H are acceptable. What is not acceptable? Z is not acceptable. F, G is not acceptable. Any combination of letters is not acceptable. The type of data, this all is basically what? Normal. And this is what? Abnormal. Expected outcome for all of these is that they are going to be accept. Actual outcome for all of them was that when we enter them, they were accepted. Expected outcome of the abnormal data is that it's going to be rejected. And the actual outcome is that we get to have the error message. So in the student type, I will just type in one letter, get the error message, take a print screen, and paste this error message in my evidence document. So this is how your validation testing table is completed. What kind of a type or what kind of a test type it is? It is basically the lookup check. There are certain types of validation and verification. There are around 5 to 6 of the validation checks. Validation checks are, let's say, we have the range check, we have the presence check, we have the length check, we have the format check, we have the data type check, and then we have the lookup check. Okay. So if you go through the chapter from the book, you will get to see these validation checks and their explanation over there as well. Range checks whether the data is basically within the range. Presence check is going to validate whether you have entered data or not. Length check is basically based on the number of characters. Format is basically based on a particular format that needs to be followed, as like student ID needs to have LGS and then 4 characters, so that's a format. Or let's say the date is also a format. Data type check, that you check the data type which is entered, and lookup check that whether the character that you have entered is the right character or not. So for further explanation or detailed explanation, you may refer to the book. Let's move on. It says create another test table to test your second validation rule. Use a similar table structure with consistent formatting. If the actual outcome of the test is an error message, take a screenshot of the message and place it in the correct cell of the table. Fine. So I'm just going to copy this whole table and paste it here. Now this is going to be applied on the other validation that we applied in the students table on the birth date. So we are going to make changes over here. Birth date. This is not going to be lookup check. This is going to be range check. Okay. We're going to remove this data. We are also going to remove this data. Split the cells. Number of columns is 1. Number of rows is 4. Can we do multiple? No, we can't. So one by one, I'm going to split them. Column 1, rows to be 4. Split cells, column 1, rows to be 4. Okay. Data chosen. Anything which is lower than the boundary. So let's say 20th of June of 1993. I'll take another value which is 05/04/1990. So all of these dates are lower than 31st of August 1993. We'll take one date as 31st August 1993 as well. And then something which is outside my range, which can be 31st of again 8th or let's say August, and this needs to be 1995. We don't need the last row, so we can delete it. Type of data. This is normal. This is normal. This is extreme. And this is abnormal. Expected outcome, it will accept this. It will be accept this. And actually they were accepted when we entered them. However, this needs to be rejected. So expected outcome is that it's going to be rejected, and the actual outcome is that we need the error message. So anything which is outside the range, we just enter it. Let's say 31st/08/1995. We get the error message, we take a screenshot and we place it in the table. Like this. So both the validation tables created. Save and print this document. So at this point again, you are to save it. One table was for 10 marks, one was for 17 marks. Last 3 points left. Point number 18. Most students in the university live in a hall of residence. All rooms in the halls of residence called Eves Hall, Surfers Lodge, White Knights and Dillbridge 2 are going to have new carpets fitted. Students living in these halls will need to be contacted. You are to create a report which lists the names of the students as well as their name, full address and zip code of the hall of residence. This list must be grouped by the name of the hall of residence. Ensure the full address and zip code are also displayed in the group header. Add a suitable title to the report. Ensure that your name, your center number, candidate number are added to the header of the report, and you are to print this report so that it fits on a single page wide. So the scenario was that students living in the university, they are basically placed in the halls of residence. Those halls are basically allocated some certain rooms. They are called Eaves Hall, Surfers Lodge, White Knights, and Dilbridge 2, and they're going to have new carpets fitted. So students are to be contacted. They need to be informed. We are to extract those students. You are to create a report which is going to be grouped based on the name, full address, and zip code of the halls. This must be grouped by the name of the hall of residence, and the student, their name, the address, and zip code needs to be added. Ensure that a full address and zip code are also displayed in the group header. First of all, this is a report. So what we do is we're gonna make the query. Click on create, we click on query design. We add our tables. Look at the halls. Let's have all the fields from the halls added to our query. Click on run. So we need Eaves Hall, we need Surfers Lodge, we need Dilbridge 2, and so on and so forth. So all the fields are basically being taken from this. Come back to our design view, apply the criteria. The criteria is that we're looking for Eaves Hall or Surfers Lodge or White Knights or Dilbridge 2. Goes into the residence. Eaves Hall, hall or halls, or Surfers Lodge or Dilbridge 2 or White Knights. Let me check. Eaves Hall, not halls, hall. Then we have Surfers Lodge, White Knights. White Knights given, Surfers Lodge given, Dilbridge 2 given. Click on run. We're left with this record. Now, who else needs to be added? Students living in these halls will have to be contacted. Create a report which lists the names of the students as well as their name, full address, and zip code. So student information needs to be added. We have the students. We want the name of the student. We want the accommodation, telephone, birth date is all what we have. Name, full address, and zip code of the hall of residence. Okay, hall of residence is already added. We only need the student names. We did not want to have the accommodation or the telephone. We only had and needed to have the accommodation residence address, which we have already added. The list must be grouped by the name of the hall of residence. Ensure that full address and zip code are also displayed in the group header. Add a suitable title to the report. Ensure that your name, center number, candidate number are added to the header of the report. Click on run. These are the students who have to be contacted. They are 64 in total. So we close the query. We have applied the criteria. We save it by students to be contacted. That's the name of the query. Select your query, go to create, click on report wizard. Add all your fields, click on next. Over here, how do you want to view your data? We want to have the halls of residence along with the address and the zip code at the top in the group and the name of the students in a separate group. So this is exactly how we want to view our data. Click on next. It says that you want to add any grouping levels. No, the grouping which access added is already okay. Click on next. Orientation, they have not specified. You can choose portrait or landscape. It's up to you. I'll go with landscape. Click on next and students to contact for carpet fittings. That's the name of my report. Click on finish. This is how it appears. All you need to do is close the print preview, head over to the layout view, and then do we need the accommodation? I don't think so. This is not needed. We can remove it. We need the residence, the full address, along with the zip code in the group header section. Shift it here. Now the address. Okay. Now the given name and the family name. Okay, please note that you can see that the given name and the family name, it appears only once at the top of the report. However, if I want to have the heading for each group, I will have to place this somewhere else. So for that, I will go to my design view. These labels are to appear at the top of each group. So I will just select them and bring them over here in this section, which is actually the accommodation header. Look at the report now. You have family name, given name and family name. In the other group, you also have the given name and family name. In the last group, you also have the given name and family name. So we can just separate them like this so that they appear appropriately. So this was your report number 1. Close this, save all your changes. Point number 19. New carpets will be fitted in the summer break where rooms are empty. All students are on holiday except for those in construction faculty, those studying archaeology, or those studying for a master's degree. Refine the report to include only the students who are on holiday. Your report should include fields that show details of the students and also their course, faculty, and qualification. You are to refine your search. What do you think? Are you going to make a new query? Huh? It says refine the report. So you are to use the same list of students and only change a few things. What we can do is, rather than changing this query, I'm just going to create a copy of this query, and this is going to be placed as copy of students to be contacted. So this is exactly the same query. Make sure that you don't make any changes to the previous query that you have made. And now we are going to refine this. The scenario is new carpets will be fitted in the summer break where rooms are empty. All students are on holiday except for those in the construction faculty and those studying archaeology or those studying a master's degree. So how can we have the information for that? If you look at the qualification, we have the master's degree, right? Some of them are doing masters of engineering. Okay. Then we also have to look for students in the construction faculty. Do we have faculty? We have faculty. So we add faculty to our report. Click on run. Construction faculty. And those studying archaeology, from where can we have the archaeology? Does course title has it? Yeah, look at this. Okay, now we'll apply the criterias. Qualification, star, master, star. Because there are master and masters. Okay, master's degree. Okay, so one done. Faculty needs to be construction. Sorry? These are the students who are not going to get the ones. They are not on the holiday. So we are to go with not containing the construction, not containing the archaeology, not containing masters. Yeah, you're right. Go back. So not equals to star, master, star. We still have master of masters in law. Okay. Faculty is to be not construction. We don't have construction in it. Course title also does not have to have archaeology. Let's take this. This is taken out. For the masters, let's change this. So not star, master, star. Click on run. So these are the students who are actually or on holiday. They don't have masters in their qualification, they don't have construction in their faculty, and they don't have archaeology in their course title. Refine the report include only those students who are on holiday. Your report should include fields that show details of the students and also their course, faculty, and qualifications. So what do we need to add? We have student information, given name, family name is already there. Then we need accommodation. Accommodation is also added, so we can bring it here. Then we have telephone. Let's have telephone. Birth date, course code, tutor code, qualification, faculty, and the course title. This is all what we need. Click on run. Any other information? Refine the report to include only students who are on holiday. Report should include fields that show the details of the students and also their course, faculty, and qualification. That is it. Close it. Hanji. We can change this to list of students for new carpet fittings. Click on create, click on report visit. Make sure that the right query is selected. We select all the fields, click on next. Do you want to group it? You can group it if you want, or you can straight away go with no grouping. It is not being specified in the report design. So we go with something that has everything in one group. Click on next. We're not going to add any grouping levels. Click on next. Sorting is not specified. Again, orientation, I can set it to landscape. It is not specified in the paper. We click on next. And over here, list of students for new carpet fittings. Click on finish. Again, the very first thing that you do, close the print preview, select your layout view. I don't think so that they will fit. We might have to go with the group like we did in the previous file or the previous report. I don't think so we can fit in another column. So may have to group this report based on the halls of residence. Yeah, this will not fit. Do we need to have accommodation here? All accepts faculty, archaeology, those studying master degree. Does not say that we need to have accommodation. So this column is not required. Still does not fit. It won't fit. So probably we'll have to make this again. Click on create report visit. So in the design view, I will make the headings of all of these to appear here. Going back to my layout, and then, or maybe more space. Let's add some more space. Like this. Page number appears on the second page, so we are going to shift this to here. So this is how your report looks like. Not star master star means it will cover master and masters. Zian. Star master star, na? So master and masters both are going to be included. Last point. Examine the contents of the halls table. Extract from all the data only the information relating to students who live in the halls of residence within the University of Tawara. Create a new report that counts how many students from each faculty are in each hall. Do not include any totals in this report. Add a suitable title to the report. Place your name, center number, candidate number in the header of the report. Print the report on the single page. Go to query. Add your tables. This is basically a new query, so we are going to consider all the halls. Now this query is based on extract from all the data only the information relating to students who live in the halls of residence within the University of Tawara. From where can we have the information for students that they are a part of the University of Tawara? Halls, residence, and so probably not in University of Tawara, right? Okay, address 1, University of Tawara. So yeah, this is basically our criteria. So address 1, University of Tawara. How many students from each faculty are in each hall? So we have to add faculty. Okay, do not include any totals in this report. So we are to give a count of how many students from each faculty are in each hall. Right? These are the names of the halls, residence. In each hall, we are to specify the number of students. How can we do this? We can apply totals. Click on run. University of Tawara is already there, so we don't have to view it. Just look at this. We have to count how many students. So for the residence, I can just add another residence over here and group it by count. So number of students in each hall based on their faculty. So let's say agriculture, we've got 4 different halls, and these are the number of students resided in each hall. Do you get this? When we are to build the report based on this, how will we do it? Click close. I'm going to save it by, let's say, number of students in each hall. Select the query, click on create, click on report wizard, add all the 3 fields. We are going to group it based on the faculty. Click on next, next, and finish. So this is what we were supposed to show. In the agriculture faculty, we have these 4 halls, and there are 4 students in each hall, or 1 student in each hall. Similarly, we have the total for all the halls based on the faculty. So students from each faculty are in each hall. Do we get this? We can close the print preview. We go to the layout view, fix the display. And this is number of students in each hall. It said that we don't have to have any totals. This needs to be fitting on one page. So this is our actual result. Based on the faculty, the number of students in each hall. Got this? This was the complete solution to your exercise 12. Save changes.